Okay. Um, Let me just close out of this program because I don't want to accidentally have people interrupt me. Okay. So I should be back online. Everyone in the stream chat. If you guys can hear me, great. Awesome. We're gonna begin right now. So just gonna set the dummy to blocking again. We're gonna kick it off. This is another one of my overviews. If you guys saw my UNIEL tutorial, it's a very basic rundown because I was kind of new to the character as well. But I played enough Guilty Gear throughout my life to be very familiar with the kinds of things UNIEL wants to do in Xrd. Naoto I've been playing for like 3 years, ever since the original version of Persona came out, so very knowledgeable in that character. And I've been playing this character since this game came out on consoles in Japan. So I've been playing this character for quite a while. I've won a couple tournaments, like TSBs and stuff. I beat a lot of good players, and some people think I'm one of the better Hildas in the United States. So hopefully I can teach people some interesting things that they may or may not know about Hilda, and hopefully inspire them to play her. So here we go. We're going to start off with Hilda's normals. The most important part of her gameplay, really. How you use your buttons is how you win with this character. So we're going to start with her 5A here. 5A, it's a mid. It's 8 frame startup, if I'm not mistaken. And it's -3 on block. You use this, like, you won't really use this as a poke very much because, I mean, these are the kind of pokes you're working with Hilda, but it's very quick comparatively to most of her attacks, has decent range, has this interesting property. Now this goes for like pretty much every 5A in the game, but if you hold up any up direction while you're hitting 5A, it'll chain into itself. Because if you just hit 5A without holding up, you do what UNIEL, like this game's version of an auto combo, much like in Persona. It's called Smart Steer. So if you mash this without holding an up direction, it just completely goes through this whole combo that ends with super. So holding up lets you chain it into itself, and you can kind of like stagger it. So you can use it as a neat way of performing stagger pressure, which is pretty sick. And it'll preserve your other normals for your pressure. So it mainly serves that purpose. The other way you want to use your 5A is for what we call rebeats. Like if you're a multiplayer player, you know what rebeats are. Basically in this game, you have a lot of freedom with your chains. Like you can chain C normals back into B normals. You can do C normals into A normals like that. B into A, C into A, C into B, like B into C into A. Like you have so much freedom, like it's not even funny. So the only rule is you can't repeat normals. So a lot of times you will use like a C normal into a whiffed A to minimize the recovery. So you give the opponent very little time to react to the fact that you restarted your rebeat pressure. So 5A is good for that, because a lot of times you will have used up her other A normal and her 2A. So using 5A for these purposes is pretty good. So keep that in mind. You just want to be conscious of what normals you exhaust while you're doing your pressure. If you can keep that in mind, you'll be very successful in UNIEL. So next move we're going to talk about is Hilda's 2A. Hilda's 2A is fantastic 2A. 6 frame startup. It's a little bit on the slower side. I think characters, some characters have like 4 to 5 frame 2As in this game. It's a bit faster than hers. This move is also -3 on block. Chains into itself like indefinitely, so long as you're in range. One of her most common combo starters, great range on a 2A, really important as it is her main low. Hilda does not have many low attacks, and this is her most important one, and you will see why. She has a certain setup after knockdowns that force the opponent to guess between a high or a low, and the main low you're going to be using is this one. So keep that in mind. For pressure, her two-way whiff is the best possible way to perform like kind of rebeat like whiff cancel pressure, because it's so fast and it's so subtle compared to her 5A. But because her 2A is such a good starter and so good in pressure, you won't always be able to whiff cancel into it because you'll have used it up. So doing cool strings like that, like, you know, like just really annoying far safe pressure is what you want to do. Like, it's fantastic. Fantastic normal for that purpose. Use it. You will actively use it with Hilda. This is also your primary defensive option. Mashing 2A out of pressure is pretty much your main way to get out of bad situations with Hilda, because she does not have reversals or anything like that. Very poor defensive option, so you have to be brave with Hilda and not be afraid to hit this normal when you're under pressure. Same with 5A, but more so with 2A, because it's faster. So moving on, that's it for Hilda's A normal. She doesn't have anything else besides that. So we're gonna jump into her B attacks, and the first one we're gonna talk about is her 5B. This move is 11 frame startup, pretty good range. If you just let this move recover as it is, it's negative 16 on block. So you generally want to chain this into other attacks that are much safer. This is one of Hilda's best combo starters. Its angle, like, it has an interesting kind of angle that seems like it'd be pretty good for anti-airing. But I'll just show it with the dummy. It's not as great as it should be. Oh, I forgot what game I was recording this with. As you can see, like, you can kind of just go past it a lot of cases. Like, at the very tip it's fine, but like, you can easily kind of float past it. So, not the greatest move for that purpose, and you can kind of, whoa, Hilda. Yeah, it's just, it has its problems. But as a mid-range kind of poke, it's pretty good. Like, look how far that hits. And it's just, you have so many options to work with on block with this attack that you just want to use it for just initiating pressure, punishing people. It's very good as a combo starter. Basically it. There's not too much more else to say about it. It's just, you know, combo filler, block string filler. Basically it. Next we're going to talk about her 2B. Her 5B and 2B, they're mids. So her 2B is this attack. Great range. 13 frame startup, so it's pretty damn fast. Minus 10 on block, but again, you're going to generally chain these attacks to something a bit more safe. It's one of the most godly 2Bs in this game, really. Like, look at that range. Like, that's ridiculous. Very quick. Now, the problem with this attack is, as you can kind of already guess, just by the look of it, really dangerous to one whiff, and you can easily just like jump over it. Like, the opponent can kind of watch you do it and hit you for it. So you have to be you have to be really careful with your spacing to not have this whiff, and make sure you do touch the opponent with this attack, because if you whiff it, they're in. This character is all about being perfect. You need to play perfectly and not miss, because if you miss, you will die. It's basically the character. So when using this attack, make sure you're going to make contact with your opponent, otherwise it's bad times. Next attack we're going to talk about is her 3B, so her command normal. This move has 11 frames of startup, -7 on block. This move is what you're going to be using as your anti-air with Hilda. Not 100% sure, but this apparently has some form of like upper body invulnerability. I want to say it might just be that it has a good hitbox, but it's pretty good at beating airborne attacks. Doesn't have the best range, and there's a blind spot to this attack right at like the top, like in front, like right above her head. Like that area where the scythe doesn't really hit, there is no hitbox there, so people who are point blank in your face jumping at you can avoid this attack. So you need to be really mindful of your spacing with this move. So I'll just demonstrate like a good spacing, like how to use this attack properly. So I'm gonna just record the dummy doing something like that. So I missed, I didn't have good spacing, but I got her there, But as you can see, like right like at that spacing where she's like at the top of my head, completely misses. So you kind of need to keep them in front of you and make sure that scythe connects. Like those are all good spacings to anti-air someone. And on hit, you get a really nice combo. You get a really fat combo for 3 being the opponent. I'll talk about combos and stuff a little later, but just be mindful that you get pretty good reward for anti-airing people in this game. So don't be scared. Trust in your anti-air. Hopefully it will do you well. Do you a lot of good. So let's move on now. Now we're going to talk about her. Let me just stop the dummy. We're going to talk about her C normals. The first one we're going to talk about is her 5C, which is this attack. Another mid, despite how high of a hitbox it has. 18 frame startup, a bit slow. You can also partially charge it a little bit, like you kind of see that Hilda kind of delays the attack. This is like immediate, right? And that's like partial charge. That's partial charge. It's -23 on block, so you definitely want to cancel this into something else because it is ridiculously unsafe. Main purpose for this attack, as you can see, it hits so high up in the air that it's great to cover people, like just aerial space control. If you guys are familiar with the character Merkava, this is one of the attacks you use to defend your space from his flight. I guess I can show that actually. I'll pick Merkava just to show everyone what I'm talking about. There he is. So it's good at defending airspaces. It's also really good at stopping people from like assaulting at you. It definitely preserves your spacing. So let's see. Okay, recording. So yeah, I'll just fly around. Show. Oops. Okay, so as you can see, hits him very nicely out of that flight. So really useful for that purpose. He can kind of fly above it to an extent, but for the most part, if they're not very careful with their flight spacing, you will hit them. I'll go over, because I know this is a very problematic matchup for a lot of people, so I will show anti-Merkava strategies a little later once I talk about some interesting interaction with characters, but 5C, the god, for sure. Definitely amazing versus Merkava. So, a bit more about this move is, not only is it good against, you know, Merkava, but I know everyone, like, one of the biggest problems for most characters is, like, let's take Waldstein, for example. Trying to anti-air Waldstein is very problematic. This move, because of how far Hilda is from it, and just how, you know, quick and just the spacing it covers, it's one of the few moves that can actually, like, prevent Waldstein from just assaulting at you. So So really useful in that sense. So you definitely want to use this move to keep people at bay from just flying at you. Again, everything about this character is about precision and choosing your buttons wisely to control space. So keep that in mind. Next move we're going to talk about is just the charged version of this attack. This move, if you hold down the button, you will perform a giant version of her 5C. And it's significantly slower, so this version is, I want to say it's between 35 to 37 frames startup. Wasn't 100% sure on the frame data, so it's right around that speed range, so it's very reactable. You can react to the fact that Hilda like flashes white when she does it, and the fact that there's a giant star forming above your head. So it does hit people. Most impressive thing about it is just its range. Its sheer range is just ridiculous. It's almost full screen overhead. It's also special cancelable. So far, every normal I've talked about is special cancelable, but this overhead is also. So you can do a double overhead with linchpin. You can go low. You can reset pressure if I don't drop it. Reset pressure with spike from behind. A lot of great things you can do. This move also very important for combo enders and just in general. Part of her mix-up, you use it to catch people sleeping or people who actively crouch shield. This move will catch them. That is how you use this move. So yeah, not much more else to say about 5C besides those things. We'll go into her follow-ups to her C normal. Oh no, sorry. Let's talk about her 2C first. This is her 2C. Basically, this is just a longer range version of her 2B. Like, as you can see, like, I'm hitting them from nearly full screen. It's 14 frame startup, minus 14 on block, but this move is essentially just farther range 2B. So it has the same weakness of it leaves you very vulnerable to people just assaulting at you. I should probably record it in a much better fashion like that. Yeah, so as you can see, it misses. Oh, it kind of. Yeah, there we go. So early on in its frames, it'll catch people, but later on, you will miss. So you need to be mindful of that spacing. So people can decide to, just jump assault at you. Be mindful of how you use it. If you miss it, like, it doesn't have the recovery on it isn't too bad, but you still want to avoid missing with any of your attacks. Special cancelable, everything, like usual. Good for rebeat pressure. You can, like, harass people and stuff like that. Like, it's very strong move, very useful. Punishes a lot of things that most characters can't from far away. So, now what I want to talk about is Hilda's C button in general. Actually, no, there's still one more normal. I'm sorry. One more normal. And it's kind of special, but this is her 3C. So it's down forward plus her C button. This is 12 frame startup. This has like no recovery to it. And it is, once again, the god against Merkava. Like, you're flying around. Oops, I deleted the thing. You like flying around a lot, buddy? Fly around this. Well, you're flying around this. God damn it. Point is, for lower flight heights, so let's say they're around here, you can catch them. Not as great as her 5C, because her 5C is a little farther up, but this move is good. Specifically, let's see if I remember how to do this. It's specifically good against that. And if people know how problematic that move is, like, everyone knows this move is the bane of a lot of people's existences. But this move says no. You can stop Merkaba from flying at you with that move. Do not let Merkabas fly at you willy-nilly. So, a lot of times you'll just see Japanese players like walking back and forth, and they'll sometimes just throw that out because there's so low recovery to it that it's not too risky to do it. This move is so important in her combos. Like, I'll just show an example, like how often you use this in her combos. Like, let me get the height right. Use it for that. Use it again. So, I use 3C and its follow-up both times in my combo. So, be very comfortable with this attack and comboing off of it, because you're going to be using it a lot. Is your friend, is Hilda's lifeblood for her combos. So now I'm going to talk about her attack follow-ups. Her C button pretty much has follow-ups to everything. Her 5C has a follow-up, her 2C has a follow-up, and her 3C has a follow-up. 5C's follow-up is the second hit right here. This second hit is 31 frame startup, and it's 0 on block. This is one of the Hilda's safest moves, and this kind of gap from 5C to 5CC is like a natural frame trap. There is a gap so people can reversal in between this, but they cannot mash, they cannot move, they will get hit. This move can come out even on whiff, so it's kind of good for, you know, trying to prevent people from just running in at you should you whiff 5C. It has a little less recovery as well. You recover a bit quicker doing 5CC. You'll mainly use this to hit confirm. So you'll do stuff like that for combos. Like, that's how you'll combo, like, from a counter hit or an airborne opponent. Like, you do stuff like that to hit confirm it. Aside from that, you know, it's special cancelable, hit or block. So, you know, you use it for pressure, etc., etc. You can let it recover. Okay, so we have a question here. Question: while we are talking about normals, I've seen a lot of Hilda use the grid buff to cancel normals out. Why? Just to make it safe? There's a couple reasons why you would do that. I'll actually talk about that shortly, because her use of chain shift is important. Like, that deserves its own section, so I will get to this question after I'm done talking about normals and specials, because plays a big part in her offense, actually. That's a great question. So I'll get to that, buddy Lee. Just bear with me, bro. So we're done with 5CC. There's not much else to say about it. We'll talk about 2CC. 2CC mainly just use same purpose really as the 5CC. You know, hit confirming, special cancel, combo that way. It's -12 on block, 16 frame startup. Once you kind of make the opponent block this, your only option out is to special cancel. Now, luckily enough, this ties into what Buddy was asking about, which is why do people wind up chain shifting after certain normals? Well, in this case, you kind of want to chain shift this attack because you don't really have a choice otherwise. You kind of are stuck there. Like, you're forced, you know, either special cancel that, this, and you kind of don't always want to do that. So a lot of times it's better to just do that. Just keep your offense, build your meter up again by using the chain shift, and just carry on. You don't want to go in too hard. That's mainly how you want to go about it. So like this move, like I said, since you don't really have options, like you can't chain into anything else, you're stuck special canceling it. Sometimes you don't want to do that, so you use chain shift for that kind of normal. So main purpose for this attack is just combo filler, really. Combo, pressure filler. You can delay cancel that, like that's what it looks like immediately. That's what it looks like delayed. So you can use that to try to catch people trying to move and whatnot, but in general, you want to avoid it in your pressure. You rather keep your pressure very free form, very non-committal. You don't want to get stuck having to do certain things, like by necessity. So I would use 2cc very sparingly unless I am doing a combo. Then I will gladly use it. So let's go back to this move, and let's talk about its follow-up, 3cc. As you can tell, 3c and 2c look pretty much exactly the same, just the angle is different. It's basically the same idea as 2cc, except for combos. You'll use this again, like if Merkava is jumping, for example. This is how you hit confirm. Do stuff like that, like a delayed pillar, you know, 3cc again, linchpin. 3cc into linchpin, 3cc into pillar, like 3cc into that. All really important combo parts you should get comfortable with. Get comfortable with delaying the 3c into this follow-up. Get comfortable with delaying the special after it. I'm being bad. Being really bad. Wow, I am free. Anyway. Yeah, just get used to, you know, delay canceling specials off that move. But just really common combo filler. Useful, swatting people out of the air. Good times. Okay. So, Dash B. Let's talk about her dash attacks. So every character in this game has dash normals. So this is her Dash B. This is her Dash C. As you can see, one appears closer to Hilda and it's a bit smaller. The other one appears a lot farther and it's significantly bigger. For all intents and purposes, we're going to treat this move as the same thing because they are essentially the same thing. It just know that the size and spacing difference is what distinguishes the moves. B is closer to you, smaller. C is larger to you and farther. They both have the same attack startup, which is 13 frames, and they're both -11 on block. This move actually isn't too bad to let kind of recover. So many hits, like it pushes the opponent away. It's relatively safe just by spacing. This move, it's good for pressure and it's good to stop people from being from jumping at you, like assaulting. There's like a good space for that kind of stuff. So I'll just record Merkava doing the usual. Oh, I messed up. So, like, let's just create space. Alright, there we go. So as you can see, oh, I messed up there. Kind of cornered myself. So let me just do this. Whoa, come down, Merkava. So yeah, really good for controlling all like that space. It's pretty quick as well. It's only 13 frame startup. It's faster than her other normals. But it's a good attack to use to stop people from jumping away from you, jumping at you, running at you, walking. If they're just blocking, like you can just special cancel out of it. Because it has like varying hits like that, you can change when you special cancel it to kind of like people are trying to run at you, then like might throw them off on when they can dash. It might eat up some inputs of theirs if they're trying to reversal. If you vary when you special cancel off the attack, or if you do it at all. A lot of I definitely would use this move quite a bit in pressure and just to stop people in general. There's a cool trick you can do with this attack. I guess we'll show it now. So, linchpin, which I'll talk about shortly. This move, you charge it by holding down a button for 46 frames, right? So, a lot of times people compensate for this by holding, you know, like, they'll do like dash C, and then while they're doing dash C, they'll hold their B button, and they'll do something like that. As like a mix-up kind of thing. There is a way, if your timing's good enough, from frames 46, if I need to stop being bad, there you go. So I released the linchpin on frame 48. If you look at my frame counter, held forward and C, I did dash C, held that button for 7 frames, and then another 41 frames was me holding the C button still and releasing it. I released it at that point, 41 frames after I initially held it for 7 frames. So altogether, you count it together, it's 48 frames. On the 48th frame, I released my C button and I got it. I did it too early there. As you see, I added up to only 45. That only added to 40, so I didn't get it. That was 47, 43 plus 4. See if I can get it on the 46th frame. Too soon. Too soon again. Too soon. I was 1 frame off there. Yeah, I'm just being 1 frame off. That was 1 frame too late. The visual cue for releasing this is kind of during the pushback of the attack. It's a bit tricky. I'm just being 1 frame, literally 1 frame off. There you go. I got on the 46th frame. 42 plus 4. So 3 frame window. That 3 frame window to hit it is pretty tight, but you can do it consistently. Like I said, there's a visual cue. It's right when they kind of get pushed back. Like if I just go by the visual cue, I should be able to get it a bit more consistently. I did it too late there, did it too early, too late. There you go. Like a bit more consistent, right? So it's just an interesting extra option you can do, and it kind of like preserves your spacing. You don't have to like try doing dash C a little too close because you don't want your B linchpin to whiff. Like, you'll always get it. You always get it at proper spacing. So that's why it's good. You can also do it with the B button as well. You know, do something like this. Like, good time. Anyway, let's move on. Next attack I want to talk about is Hilda's force function, her BC. Like I said, you perform this move by hitting B and C at the same time. It's 17 frame startup. It's -10 on block. You can charge it. Not that useful charge. Only probably for like combos and stuff. This move, Hilda becomes airborne like on the 2nd to 3rd frame of this move startup. As you can kind of see, she hovers off the ground. Move has an amazing like anti-air hitbox. So again, we'll use my buddy Merkava here to show off how good her anti-air hitbox is for this. Like, look at that. It hits him all the way up there. Of course, this is air blockable, but it doesn't matter because if he's caught up flying, he'll get swatted. So it's fantastic to stop people from, you know, jumping, flying, etc. A little on the slower side, so it's kind of hard to do it reactionary, but you'll get a sense of when you can use this. The downside to using force function, if you look at my grid meter, which is the bar at the bottom, that pink stuff, it consumes pretty much a whole bar to 2 bars of it, I want to say. Just 1 whole bar. So it's kind of hard. Like if you actively use this attack, you will run out of grid very quickly, and you will lose chain shift wars. So you want to kind of be careful about that. But if you're going to use this attack, there's cool things you can do with it. So for starters, this move is special cancelable on block. So let's say your opponent's standing kind of at a far range and they don't really have anything that can hit you from this range. Like, you can make yourself plus with that super. That's two reasons advantageous. Like if your opponent can kind of mash it out with a normal, and you want to stop them from doing that, use this. This move is relatively safe on block. It pushes them away, so really good. Definitely a really good option to, you know, keep people at bay. And I'll show what makes this attack very interesting. So the force function, for the most part, can't really, you know, won't get you out of a lot of situations, mainly just to stop people from the air, like occupy the screen with big hitbox. But there's certain characters who, for some reason, their 2As hit really low to the ground, and you can, for some reason, let me make you stop blocking. So, just to show that this is a meaty attack, as you see, I could not get off the ground. So, what I'm going to do is, with Hilda, I'm going to mash force function on wake up, and there you have it. I go over hides 2A. If he's just blindly committing, oh, I didn't hit it in time. You just kind of go over it. Oops. So if I backtack to 2A, like there's, as you saw, it just hit hide. So you can force function over hides 2A, Eltnum's 2A, you can go over Seth's. So you go over Hyde, Eltnum, Seth, Aurier, and you can go over Akatsuki's 2A, but if he's mashing it, if he does like multiple 2As, then the second hit of his 2A will punch you out of the air, but it's not that big of a deal because one, it's Akatsuki, and two, like, he doesn't get anything for hitting you like that. But yeah, so 5 characters out of the cast, you can just cleanly go over their 2As with your force functions. And a lot of players and characters, like, they're all about the meaty 2A life. So you can definitely put players of those characters on tilt by using force function that way. So you can do stuff like that and get like a full combo for them trying to meaty you. If you have chain shift, you have something even better going on for you. You have that. So let me set them to block. So you can either do that quick overhead, or you force function and you land and you land and go low on them. So on block, you get a cute little mix-up against the opponent. Definitely pretty rough to kind of block, kind of deal with situation. And this is tight. Like, as you can see, they're still in block stun, so they can't mash this. They're still in block stun for the low as well. So against the characters I said, like Hyde, Eltnum, Seth, Aurier, Akatsuki, like, if they decide to, you know, like, try to meaty you that way, whoops, I just never matched it past them. Like that, like, oops. Or let's say, like, you miss for whatever reason. You can also dive kick, like, if you see that, like, they're just whiffing 2A, when you do this, do that, sometimes it'll hit them, you know, get like a full combo. So, something to be aware of, that those characters cannot meaty 2A you, basically. That's what's important. That's not a thing against Hilda. So you can use your force function that way. Also, you know, it just stops people from assaulting at you and whatnot. And off certain combos where you can't, let's say you hit someone with linchpin. Crap. Let's say you got a combo starter like that, where you can't get a clean knockdown with that. You can do something like, that was bad. I'm terrible. Do something along those lines and, you know, kind of just reset the situation back to neutral. But by doing that, you get a lot of space, so you can set up a gloom and just go to town. So that's basically her force function. I want to talk about one little extra thing, but this is absolutely terrible, and I don't recommend anyone ever using this. But so this move, if you can even see it clearly, this is her, I want to say, force function fate. Just like this little poke. It's like 8-frame startup. I suppose it's a little faster than just, you know, letting that rock, but it's not as good. You get the same little cute mix-up that I showed earlier. Like, you can, like, chain shift, land low, but, like, you're better off doing it off force function itself. Like, you get a lot more mileage off that. I've never seen anyone use force function feint A, so if someone finds a good use for it, let me know. But I've tested a lot of stuff and I found nothing. That move is not hot fire. Anyway, now I'm gonna talk about her air normals. So there's this move. This is her JA. Fantastic move. Look how fast this is. Like, just jumping back and forth can be like a nightmare for people to deal with. You know, you get 2 in one jump. Just covers so much space. Like, look at that. If someone tries jumping at you, you'll stuff them. And if they try running at you, you just come down with a hitbox. Really good. I use this for running away a lot. You know, really good. It has its uses in combos. You'll do like the hide and jump. You can do stuff like that. Cool stuff like that, you know. Aside from that, the main use for it that I see for most players is for this. They get the timing for that perfectly. If you whiff it while rising, and then after you visually confirm that you recovered, you just hold C down, and then you get that. Or you do that, you just do a regular JC, and then you just land and go low. That's the basic premise of her mix-up that we're going to talk about later. So, like, that, those are the main things that J is good for. Like, you know, the other good thing that's good for is, let's say that they hit with, like, they block this. Let me put a dummy to block that, actually. So let's say they block that. You can use a JA to make yourself plus after that. So you can like continue pressure pretty safely. So those are the general uses for JA. Really good move. It's an overhead. Don't ignore the use. Very good for air to air. Use it actively. Just don't go nuts like being in the air hitting JA because people can't anti-air you for it. But use it, abuse it. It's great. One of my favorite normals was Hilda for running away. Good times. Next amazing normal that she has, one of my other favorite ones, is this one. It's her JB. It's like an aerial version of her 5B, except this move is amazing. So as you can see, it has huge horizontal hitbox. Like, look how far that hits. Like, right there. That is her spacing. All that is her. So, in the air, or versus, like, grounded opponents, like, you just command so much space. It's 10-frame startup. It's an overhead. Can hit crouching opponents really cleanly. Like, it works perfectly fine as a jump in. Other main use for this attack is off the same situation with the JA. Use her JB instead. because I want to say it inflicts more block stun. Like, that's tighter. So, kind of want to use that as a like way to make yourself plus and whatnot. Aside from that, running away, it's really strong. Like, trying to get in on Hilda doing this, like you're covering your air and ground approach by doing this. You see a lot of JP players use this to kind of like go back to a spacing where Hilda's more comfortable at. So like, let's say I was Hyde and like I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let Hilda, you know, just run away from me. I'm gonna chase her. So okay, Hyde, you want to chase me? That happens. Like, you just get stopped. Either the opponent gets hit, generally, or you literally just, it's your turn. You made them block your JB, now you get to pressure. So, that's really cheap. So, use that, abuse it, it's hilarious, it's fantastic. I can't describe how good JB is for controlling space. And you do it at such a safe way, like, it's really, really awesome. Next move we're going to talk about is her JC. Now this move is interesting. This move is in fact an overhead. You must block this move standing, but as you can see, this move's hitbox is gigantic, right? If you do it rising, this move is a mid. 16 frame startup and it's a mid if you do it rising. But do it falling, it is indeed an overhead. It's pretty good as a jump in, like that's really nice. Like if you don't want to use JB, you know, assault JC, really good as an overhead. Mainly you won't really see it outside of like, you know, maybe some like you jump back with JC occasionally to cover like more space, or like I said, just assault people's face with JC. Other purpose was what I talked about. For the rising trick, to make kind of fake out that you're gonna like, instead of doing this, you use the JC to kind of fake the opponent out, kind of give them a bit less of a visual indicator of what you're going to do as your mix-up. So it's a pretty good option. Aside from that, like, you don't really see it for anything else. Aside from like maybe like random air-to-air combo, like you might do something like that, you throw in a JC in there, like whatever. Basically it about JC. It's an okay move. Okay, next move we're gonna talk about is this charge version I mentioned before. It's a very active move. It is an overhead, and look at that retarded hitbox. Look at that. All that space is yours, and it's an overhead. Crazy. Crazy move. It's just a bit slow. Really important in combos, really important in set play. The set play option, you know, the 50-50 that I showed before, which is this, it's using that move. But in neutral, you can literally just jump back and just control all that space with that. So again, back to, you know, Hyde, trying to run at you. No, Hyde, you can't run. And it's cancelable into my favorite move, JB. You can do a falling JB to, you know, kind of cover yourself as well. Well, he just ran clean under me, but that doesn't generally happen. So you can use JC for that purpose. Like, as I said, this is an overhead. So if the opponent, I don't know what they're expecting to do or whatnot, but you can do something like that. You can super cancel this, you know, make yourself plus, give yourself a safe landing, do something like that, cover the screen. Basically, it's amazing. It's another amazing move. Just a little awkward, kind of a little scrubby to use, because usually like net players will just like LOL, they'll just do it running away all the time. But it's definitely a good move to control space with. So use it where you feel necessary, but it's very situational. Next move we're gonna talk about is her JCC. Just like her grounded C normals, she has follow-ups. Follow-up is that kind of move. You don't see this move used pretty much ever. It's kind of useful for air-to-air situations, I guess, but not really. The only time you see this move is for special combos. I guess I'll just demonstrate it real quick. Oh, he's blocking. Whoops. So, something... Wow, I'm bad. Something along these... Okay, that was terrible. Wow, I am really bad at this. So basically the premise of this combo, if I can hit it, there we go. Like, you can hit with the reverse, this kind of in a reversed way. If I time it correctly, you can do like really cool combos using that. Aside from that, you really won't see JC used ever. Like, you just do interesting stuff using that move. So yeah, you just do cool stuff involving that. If I do it properly, yeah, like this. Look how much damage that does. And you can get a setup. You can actually set up a condensed gloom in the air while you're coming down. And yeah, that is one of her best mid-screen combo routes. She does not usually get 4.6k like that. But I mean, it's 100 meter and it's chain shift, but that's her optimal mid-screen combo that my friend Rathalos found out. He's a Hilda player from Arizona. He helped come up with that stuff. So you do that. Really awesome looking combo route. That's what you'll see JCC used. It's hard, but you know, you got to do it sometimes. So like I said, outside of like that particular combo route, you're never gonna see that move. It almost has no other purpose. Okay, so the next move we're gonna talk about is Hilda's dive kick. This is her J2C. Has a great hitbox to it. Beats a lot of attacks. 15 frame startup, so it's pretty quick. When spaced properly, like any other dive kick, like you hit kind of at their like feet, it's advantageous. Any higher than that, like that's unsafe. That's an unsafe dive kick. Still unsafe. That's safe. That was a good dive kick. That's a good dive kick. The good way, like, let's say, you know, you're trying to pressure somebody, you're just mashing. Like, if they're just mashing 2A, that's what you can do. Call them out like that. One way you can do it, there's a lot of other ways, but, you know, it's an option. It's a good way to also escape the corner. Try like getting out like that, just you don't want to be there anymore. You know, you just jump, you try to dive kick out, like you'll probably get hit for it, but at least you're out. Being out is a big deal. You don't want to be cornered as Hilda. That's basically it. Like, it has its use in combos and stuff. You do cool stuff like that. You know, like interesting combo routes like that. So it's pretty good damage. Aside from that, like, you shouldn't really see too much J2C. One thing that's kind of experimental is fuzzy dive kick, which I'll talk about later when we discuss OSs. It's a technique that Merkava players use. I'm trying to like apply it to Hilda, but not sure how good it is with her yet, so talk about it when we get there. Let's see. Moving along, we will talk about go in on this tutorial talking about her specials now. Specials basically, first one we'll talk about is her 236A and her 236B. Skewer, that's what this move is called. She even says it, she says skew. 17 frame startup. This move is -10 on block. This one is slower, it's like 39 frame startup, but it's +6 on block. Weakness to this attack is the grounded versions you can just crouch right under. Like this jumping will not hit you if you are standing and crouching. Only the EX version will hit you if you're crouching. Otherwise, you can just duck underneath it. It's good. It's like good for projectile wars. You're fighting characters who like shoot projectiles of their own. 236B is pretty good in pressure because it's advantageous. Catches people moving. That's what this move is basically for. It just stops people from moving in on you. To get around the whole weakness of you being able to crouch under this, you want to use Tiger Knee version. So you want to use the air version of this special because it hits diagonally in such a way that like you can't duck underneath it. It'll have a lot of the same properties. Like this is still advantageous on block. This is still minus, but it's very quick and you can't crouch it. And that is, you know, there's kind of no purpose in using that one because this one still hits people crouching. But I mean, if you feel that way, you can use it. Not much else to say. It's just a projectile. Use it for projectile stuff. One cool thing though, this game has a weird glitch with projectiles, where if you super cancel projectiles and you make it so that the projectile and whatever super you canceled into kind of hit on the very like same frame or like same window, you get like crazy boosted damage. So just for like, just to, you know, demonstrate this, I'll show this super, right? So let's watch how much damage this super does. This did 3.3k, you know, that's about normal. Now I'm going to cancel this off my projectile throw. So I did a skewer. That did significantly more damage. That did 1500 more damage. And skewer only does 900 more damage. I got so much more damage doing that. Like exceedingly high damage. Like, that is not something most characters can just do. This glitch, they didn't remove the projectile glitch. They removed force function glitch. Hilda still has it, if anything. I don't know why, but she still does. She can do this with a lot of her other projectiles. Let me see if I can hit this. Probably not. I don't think I got it. If I got it correctly, I should do like 5k, which I didn't get. Oops. This one's kind of tricky to do. Oops. Yeah, I don't think I got it. Maybe I got it. Almost. I think I got it here. Yeah, I think I got it. Yep, look how much damage this does. 5.3k. Like, holy crap. She could do it with pretty much all of her specials. She do her condensed gloom. Like the way she hits like 8k is some crazy EMP combo using like condensed gloom and then the back spike and this. But the only real practical application of this glitch using her projectile is this. Like this move, Skewer, is like 11 frame startup, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 17 frame startup. Whoops. So you can use this to punish things, like if a Gordeau does like Grim Reaper or whatever, or like Hyde whiffs his DP, you know, 4.8k. Like, big damage. That's a lot of damage for very little effort from Hilda. Yeah, it's a full screen punish. Like they did anything, you got him. So that is honestly how I would punish a lot of things. I'd use that. I wouldn't really do like a full combo if I really wanted to kill someone. Just 236A, super, done. Not sure if it applies. I don't think it works for like that super. Yeah, it doesn't really work for that. You get like normal-ish damage for it. Can she do it at the end of her combo? Yes, she can. The thing is, it doesn't really add too much more damage. Let's see. Whoops. Like, it's not as significant for her because the combo's already relatively scaled pretty hard. So, okay, I got it there. That combo did 4.1k, respectable. So that was with the glitch. This is without the glitch. I think it should do the same damage. It's like 100 like the damage is like 100 difference. So it's not that significant towards the end of her combos. As a combo starter though, it's unreal. Like as you saw, it went from being 3.3k, internet went out. Oh, you scared me. I thought my stream went out. Sorry. But yeah, kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's something really scary about Hilda. Buddy Lee, we were just talking about what this does for Hilda. Again, I'll just show it for the last time because I think this is hilarious. Like, there you go. And yes, my game is patched. This is the patched version. I'll just demonstrate it by, yeah. It's the patched version. Anyway, carrying on. So we'll talk about her 623A and her 623B. A lot of a reoccurring theme is that generally any B special Hilda has is usually advantageous on block. Any A version is kind of just like fast but negative. This is no exception. Her spike, I don't remember what the actual name of this attack is. 15 frame startup, -7 on block. B version is like 37 frame startup, but it's +13 on block. As I said earlier, Hilda has two kind of like integral combo parts that I like to call just like her launchers. This is like one of two main launchers, or one of three main launchers. The third one being this, but this is one, and this is two. So this as a launcher, you know, lets her do full combos. As you see, it wall bounces, but this can be kind of problematic if we're dealing with corner combo situations, because it bounces the opponent in a way that like you don't get 3cc, which is generally the route you use. Like that's like her mid-screen route. So if you're in the corner, you must adjust. you need to be sure that you can adjust your combos if you accidentally use this in a corner combo. So this move occupies quite a bit of the screen, and you can like delay cancel into it. And on whiff, it's actually not too bad. Like, you recover pretty damn quick. So it's just such a large hitbox, and you get such a good reward on hit that, like, kind of throw it out there from time to time. Preferably like whiffing it, just in like anticipation of the opponent trying to run at you. It's a good way of like stopping people from getting at you. But it also, you know, like, people try like jumping at you, this move should catch them pretty cleanly. Her B version, which is this attack, let me set them to block. It's plus 13. So this, if the opponent lets you get this off, like, you just get to